the lines get a bit complicated because sometimes foreign interests seldom play directly in the field. They either play through big business and or governing elite and or organized crime. So they are not a very direct player.
And they play through all of them.
They play through all of them, right? Sometimes they also play through citizens, by the way, by going into the ground and building up, like
NPOs?
Yeah, like NPOs.
NPOs fall away in these 5.
No, you see, this is let me come back to the NPO. So what happens inside the citizens is citizens don't have a singular voice.
Sure.
So what you end up with formations inside the citizen space.
Trade unions,
NPOs, and all of that. And they say, we know what's best for you. But often those formations are an expression of interest
from somewhere.
And
it could be foreign interests.
It could be foreign interests.
Through trade unions, through NPOs. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So those are the 5 parties that will help us understand, politics, elections results, formations of parties, whatever. We've got a model. Models are never perfect, but we've got a model. Then on top of that, we added mice, right? We said, okay, how do you convince an individual to say I'm in, right? Especially people in leadership.
Yeah.
And we said it's money, and then it's ideology, it's coercion, or it's ego. Tell them that they are awesome, right? And often it is a combination of all those two.
Yeah.
The problem, we immediately run into problems because mice, so the different components of mice have got different impact. If I had to rank them by impact, the one with the highest level of impact is coercion. I'm going to kill your children,
yes,
or I'm going to kill you, right?
It's the most powerful language.
It's the most powerful language.
Yeah, it's the number 1 language of the powerful.
Because you have to, number 1 driver is self-preservation. I
Yes.
must be alive and my kids should be alive.
Yeah, coercion would be number 1.
And then followed by money, right?
Yeah.
And then it's a toss-up somewhere between ideology and ego, right?
Probably ego.
Maybe ego and then
ideology last.
Ideology last, right?
Sure.
So you've got coercion, money, ego, ideology, right? The immediate problems we run into is when you rank them by visibility. Ideology is the most visible. Maybe to an extent ego, maybe to an extent money, and coercion is the least visible. So we have an immediate challenge in that the most influential thing is the thing we don't see.
And it's the thing that's not promoted. When you speak about violence and guns and those things, immediately people pull back and they're like,
absolutely.
Aye. And I'm like, but you do realize where we are today is all because of violence.
Absolutely.
By the time the other things come, like when you're like, but the constitution and the law, all of those structures and systems came with violence.
Absolutely.
Now we're debating ideology. No, but death penalty.
Yeah. And that's exactly the problem. So let's say ideology was the 1%. And maybe let's be generous and say it's the 5%. We are trying to have intellectual conversation about 5%. Like whenever we say we are having debates about what's happening in South Africa and there's this analyst and there's this commentator, we are all slaughtering each other, trying to debate the 5%.
Before we started filming, I spoke to you about how I've sort of given up on politics.
Yeah.
It's that realization.
Yeah.
It's the listening to political analysts, the podcast, the interviews, the arguments, this one. And I've come to realize that it's all just a huge game. And we can sit and I'll be called to debate and I'm like, I know this is not the thing that's going to change anything.
Absolutely. So what then happens is here is the thing, the most influential thing is coercion. Sometimes we judge people who have taken the money, not because that was the first thing that was pitched to them.
Yes.
The first thing that was pitched to them is, and this is where the ANC finds itself, I'll talk about the big 4 parties plus a special kit, which I think is the PA, right? when I talk about the consequences of the results. In that sometimes, so when you have leaders that are compromised, I mean, like, so in the NC, you've had Ace Magashule charged, and then you had that the lady who is Mapisa Ngagula, charged, and the question is who decides who gets charged in the ANC? Because if you were saying I'm charging people for what they have done, you will charge a lot of the ANC.
Correct. Well, no CV.
Yeah, you will charge a lot of the ANC. So you have compromised leaders that even in putting them under pressure, you do not have to do too much. You just have to say to them, listen, we can lay charges. You're not going to run short of, things you can charge them for.
That's correct.
Right? So listen, we can make this very complicated and difficult, or you can just do what we want you to do, and we look up and you'll live happily, and you can continue to have views in society, or when your kids can see you. So we have leaders that you don't even have to apply too much coercion.
Then they'll take the money.
You don't even
and then
have
it looks
to,
like money.
You don't even have to threaten to kill their kids because they are compromised.
Yeah.
You just have to say, listen, we can charge you.
Yeah.
And
she's the former Minister of Defense and Military Veterans in South Africa.
And you need to have examples. This is why the Magashule are examples. They are reminders